What's going on, guys? Welcome back into the channel. Again, today we're going to be bringing you guys another gameplay related issue within Madden 22 that needs to be addressed for future Maddens. This is again one that I feel like is very standard. It is a very standard football concept, and that is a quarterback stepping up within the pocket within football. Now, this is not necessarily the best possible example that I could find for you guys, but it is a pretty solid example, and I'm going to break down exactly what I'm looking at here whenever I'm talking about a quarterback needing to step up into the pocket in order to buy themselves a little bit of time or throw the ball away. So right here, you guys get a pretty standard example of a third down situation where the offense is dropping back to pass with 5 protectors and there are 4 rushing defensive linemen. Now, standard, you're going to expect that the edge pressure is going to be coming against the left tackle and the right tackle, and there's going to be some space generally inside the pocket here, inside this space between the linemen, to step up and generate either more time for yourself or an ability to throw a football as a last-ditch effort. However, what we're going to see here is whenever the quarterback backs up into the pressure, and this is what happens 9 times out of 10, number one, they already take themselves beyond the pocket. You guys can see that he is far behind both of his offensive tackles, which is not what happens in real life football a majority of the time. What ends up happening is those tackles and those edge rushers end up behind the quarterback or at the same level as the quarterback. So we can already see that there's a little bit of an issue here in terms of the timing and the spacing of everything that's going on here with the blocking, the rushing, and the quarterback's drop back. The quarterback is dropping back beyond a point that these edge rushers and these offensive linemen could even protect him. The edge rushers, if they ran straight up field and took just a general arc to the quarterback, would have an easy lane to the quarterback because of how easily this quarterback dropped back beyond the tackle's protection. You guys will see that once they shed the block, he has absolutely nowhere to go to save himself. There is legitimately no getting out of this situation right here. There's nothing that a pocket passer quarterback especially could do to get out of this situation. However, if in the course of play we realize, oh, there's some edge pressure coming right here, and we instead step up into the pocket like a quarterback would do to right about here, inside of that block of the right tackle, we give ourselves an open lane to throw the football, and we give ourselves an open lane to take off and run if necessary. That is what NFL quarterbacks and quarterbacks all the way down through high school and youth football are taught to do, is to step up into the pocket, especially if you're not somebody that is mobile and can, turn and run outside of the pocket and somehow escape the pressure from this rushing right end or this rushing left end. If you're not a player that has, elite athleticism to get around that, like Ben Roethlisberger here, for example, you should be reacting to step up into the pocket or get rid of the football. And in this situation, we see instead, I want to play it full through for you guys. I want you guys to see exactly what happens. Instead, he decides pressure is coming. Let me take another step backwards. I want to see if you guys recognize that. Let me take a step backwards. As soon as we recognize the pressure's coming, step backwards. Why are we stepping backwards as a quarterback, especially a pocket passer quarterback, whenever we recognize this pressure is coming? That's just going to take us out of our blocks even further. Why are we taking that jump step backwards? That's going to take us out of the protection of our offensive line, and that is going to set up the defensive guys to easily get a sack on us. Now, what ends up happening a lot of times, and it doesn't happen here, Ben actually takes the sack, but what ends up happening, especially with pocket quarterbacks, is sometimes they just completely turn around and face the opposite direction like they're trying to run away, which is absolutely absurd for pocket passer quarterbacks for them to even be trying to do that, because we know that they can't escape this pressure, and they know that they can't escape this pressure. However, because of the way that the game is designed and the way the game is coded, they don't actually know that. They don't make the right decision, which would be to take a step forward, throw this football away, or inevitably get sacked inside the pocket. He doesn't even get sacked inside the pocket. There's literally a pocket here being formed in front of him, and he is completely outside of the pocket, not stepping up into his protection and buying himself another second before he can throw the football. Now, like I said, I know this isn't a perfect example because the pressure actually does also come through from the interior defensive line right here. So stepping up into the pocket is going to result in pressure no matter what. But generally speaking, when you have 3 guys on 2 right here, these players should not come through. The quarterback in real life would recognize that, oh, I have 3 on 2 right there. I have a big space right here inside of my right tackle. Maybe I should step up into that protected space and prevent myself from just being out here unprotected by either of my tackles and an easy target for those defensive ends to rush upfield and not really have to make a move to get off their block. They just simply have to rush upfield. Now, again, Madden's an animation-driven game, so that doesn't actually happen. Both of these guys have to get off their block due to an animation instead of just using basic logic and running straight upfield, but that's an issue for another day. Regardless, the point here is Ben Roethlisberger should obviously, in my opinion, be stepping up into that space right there where he has an open running lane, an open passing lane, and buying himself some ability to either get rid of the football, throw the football, or run and try to pick up a yard or two. Or rather, not take a sack for an additional 10 yards that he doesn't need to take because he's standing behind his offensive lineman and not actually inside the pocket whatsoever. This is an issue that is absolutely consistent, and there have been many, many examples that I've seen, and this is especially prevalent in CPU gameplay. I don't know why they can't code CPU quarterbacks to just simply step up, throw a dot, step up, throw a pass. You know what I mean? Step up and try to run. Step up and look for somebody downfield and maybe take the sack inside the pocket. But instead, we take a step backwards as soon as we see the pressure. Maybe he's reacting to that interior defensive lineman by jumping back. But it's just odd that the reaction is take a step backwards, and then we start to shuffle around inside the pocket once we recognize the pressure's coming. And that's the further issue right there is, beyond stepping up in the pocket, we then, as soon as we recognize this pressure's coming, we take this step back. Why is the reaction here not to get rid of the football? Why is the reaction here not to tuck it and go to the ground and self-preservation or something like that? Like Ben Roethlisberger here should know, I'm not getting out of this situation unless I get rid of the football or I should protect the football. Ultimately, this is an unrealistic situation to be in to begin with, but if you are in this situation, there are some clear options, and he doesn't do any of those. Instead, he starts then he starts to try to step up in the pocket or recover from that one step. I don't really know what he's doing. Maybe he's trying to scramble here by moving back up. It's just a little bit bizarre, to be honest with you, is the best way that I can describe it. And it is something that absolutely needs to be addressed in future Maddens. And, a lot of these issues just simply go back to the gameplay coding and things just not being designed to play properly. And to be honest with you, I feel like a lot of it goes back to superstar and X Factor abilities being added into the game and being a cop-out for EA that are simply designed to, get past the fact that they can't code these players to play properly. They can't code this game to play like an NFL football game, and so they took the easy way out and added superstar and X Factor abilities that are used to just kind of distinguish a few players so that they play a little bit different and play a little bit better in certain situations instead of just focusing on making quarterbacks play correctly to begin with. So, let me know your thoughts down in the comments section below. This is an issue that I think is prevalent. A lot of people probably don't even experience this issue because they don't play against the CPU. A lot of people only play user leagues, but it is an issue that I find very intriguing. And an issue that I think absolutely needs to be corrected because it's a basic skill that is taught to quarterbacks from a very early age, and that is to step up and use your protection in order to finish the play. So let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Like I said, leave a like on the video if you do enjoy these types of discussion videos, whether you agree or disagree, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'll see you guys in the next one, and I hope you have a good one.